No.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Hell, and this is For What It's Worth. Sorry for coming so late, but I definitely wanted to get back to y'all. It's been a few weeks, so this is gonna be a shorter episode, but I still wanted to come back and check in and tell y'all that it's still all the way live on Wednesdays. We just got a lot going on. We got some really exciting things coming up, which I'm gonna tell you about in a second. But to start off, make sure you're following us on all the things: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us at We Lit Network. Make sure you're tuned in because, like I said, there's some really cool things coming up. The 30th of this month, we are having a Halloween party at the studio. Sorry, I heard something. 28 Aurelius costume party. Make sure you come out. There's a cash prize for the best costume. You're going to want to get there early because it's going to be a whole situation. Make sure you come out. It's going to be a really good time. Always leave the drama at home. Come show out. Come have a good time and just get it in with us. It's going to be a really, really dope part of your Halloween weekend. Some adult fun before the kids go do their thing on Sunday. That's the 30th. Also, we got 2 new shows coming to you this week. I will be posting the flyers inside the group after this live. Tomorrow we have Getting Sexy. It's a love, sex, and relationship show. You're not gonna want to miss this. I was on a call with one of the girls earlier and kind of heard some of the topics that are going to be discussed. It's a little spicy, but it's definitely something you're not going to want to miss. Then Friday, every Friday at 6 p.m. That show is going to be on Thursdays at 7, and this show is going to be on Fridays at 6. Smokers Only. It's a collaboration between We Lit Network and Connoisseur Supply Co. And that is going to be a really dope show as well. If you're a smoker, tune in. If you're not, you're still going to enjoy it. I'm not, and I'm really hype about it. So definitely come through Fridays, 6 p.m. The first one is this Friday at 6 p.m. And you might have a special guest. It's still in the works, but somebody might pop in. So hi, Trav. So make sure that you tune into those shows. Sorry, there's a quick glitch. Make sure you tune in. Again, Getting Sexy tomorrow. Love, relationships, sex talk. You are definitely not gonna want to miss that. And then Smokers Only on Fridays at 6 p.m. That is a collaboration between We Lit Network and Connoisseur Supply Co. Definitely go check them out on Instagram. You might be surprised what you find there. So can't wait for those. Really excited. But again, I wanted to get back to y'all this week. I have definitely missed bringing y'all the tea, and there has been some craziness going on. We're going to talk about all the things: Dave Chappelle, Meek Mill, all that. Okay, so let's get into it. So this week in news, we know that Dave Chappelle, they've been in an uproar about his new special on Netflix called Closer. And about some comments that he made that were transphobic. Now, I said yesterday when I was on Raw that I was going to go watch the special, so I knew what the comment was. I did not get a chance to do that. But then in secondary news today, I found out that on October 20th, transgendered employees of Netflix plan to do a walkout in protest of Dave Chappelle now being pulled from Netflix. I don't know what the transgendered population of Netflix is. It wasn't in the article, but they plan to walk out. Now, We said this last night. I said this last night. Dave Chappelle is a equal opportunity offender. He offends even himself. He does not discriminate, if that makes any sense, on who he offends. So I'm not surprised that this is coming up, but it seems like even after Netflix has decided not to pull the special, that people are kind of dragging it along. Now, that's just, if you know Dave Chappelle, that's his content, that's who he is. And so, again, I'm not surprised that this has come up, but I'll be interested to see what happens, or if this walkout does any good, or if it goes unnoticed. Maybe it'll make the news. I don't know. But they're planning a walkout on the 20th in protest, so we'll see how that goes. Also, Facebook, while we're talking about these types of things, Facebook is issuing a ban on all content that sexually harasses celebrities. Now, this is a very broad ban. It's very vague as to what exactly they would consider harassment of celebrities, sexual harassment of celebrities. They didn't specify if it's comments made or words posted directly or messaged to a celebrity, or if it's just content on your page that depicts celebrities in a sexual way that they consider sexual harassment. But I think it's kind of murky waters. I don't know. I kind of feel like all celebrity content's going to be taken off Facebook if that happens. But that's the latest ban that they're issuing to reduce or be stricter about harassment and bullying on the platform. So we will see how that goes. And hopefully everybody's content won't get taken down, because I feel like that's kind of broad and vague. And obviously, they have a way to maneuver it if they're issuing it as a ban, but we'll see. In celebrity news, so this first one is not a joke. It's not lighthearted, but I definitely wanted to take a second to send thoughts and prayers out to Cinnamon. Hitman Holla has been kind of posting updates about her recovery. If you are not aware, there was an incident the other day where intruders broke into their home. She had a gun to defend herself, so shots were fired. She wound up shot in the cheek, and the bullet exited through the back of her head. And as you see there, she's still managing to give the peace sign and let everybody know that she's good. They said it's going to be a long road to recovery for her, but I definitely wanted to take a second to mention and send my thoughts and prayers to her, because that's a really scary situation. He wasn't home at the time. He was actually 1,000 miles away and on the phone. I can't even imagine getting a call from home that there are intruders in your house and you're listening to it happen, and there's literally nothing you can do. You're totally helpless, and that's what happened. So definitely thoughts and prayers again with them. I hope for a speedy recovery and that she gets well soon, because so scary, so scary. On a more lighthearted note, not to make the quick transition or seem disrespectful, but because that definitely serious situation. It made news this week that Kim Kardashian got the $60 million. She secured, the way that the headline said it got me. She secured the $60 million home that they shared in the divorce settlement. $60 million, y'all. What? Okay, so this is my thing. How do you even wrap your head around what $60 million worth of a house looks like? I don't know what their house includes, but I will say that that's a lot of house. $60 million. I'm going to have to go look now, because I'm sure she's done a tour at some point, because that's just what the Kardashians do. But she got the house, y'all. She got the house. Another person sitting in the hot seat for a comment that he made, Fat Joe, was talking to Big Tigger in the basement, and he said, Tig asked him who he would compare old school rappers, not necessarily old school, but who he would compare, who he would say is the modern day version of these rappers. And he asked Tupac. Fat Joe thought about it for a minute, and he said the Baby. Now, the internet was mad. They were real mad about that statement, and Fat Joe got a lot of flack for it. So he went on his platform on Instagram to clear it up, and he basically compared it to the levels of controversy that they're involved in, and he tried to smooth it over. But the internet was mad, y'all, real mad. So if you haven't seen the articles about that, go look at the Shade Room, which is where I get a lot of my stories and information, or where I start to get some of my information. Then I branch out to do more research. The Shade Room posted the original clip of Fat Joe talking to Big Tigger, and then they also posted the follow-up Fat Joe. So go see why Fat Joe thinks that 2021 Tupac is the Baby. And the Baby even retweeted it and said, "You gonna make people throw their phones on the grounds with this one." So, and that's paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said, but it was something along those lines. So definitely go check that out, because it was amusing to me to see how he explained that one. But yeah, go check it out. All right, so now we're gonna get into like the crazy shit on the internet that sparks conversations part of my show. Meek Mill's tour bus. If you had, the only way you could not have heard about this is if you've been living under a rock, because again, this is another thing people are really pissed about. So, a picture came out of Meek Mill's tour bus sitting in a parking lot, and on the side of his tour bus is his album cover. Now, the red spots are over what everybody's mad about, but they're naked black women displayed as abstract art on poles and bent over, but not just bent over, like bent over with pink dots between their legs and their boobs out. And I guess I haven't seen the original album cover, but I guess it was edited and censored on the album cover. But for some reason, someone made the decision on a tour bus that rolls around cities, around children, to not censor the tour bus. Now, the video that I saw that's piqued my interest the most about it was of this Caucasian man, and he was hot. He was upset and he was screaming, and his point was black women should not be portrayed this way. I agree. Now, the fact that it got to the point of being wrapped on a bus and sitting on the street is my problem with Meek Mill. How could you allow this to happen on your watch? The rebuttals have been, this wasn't his decision. This is a record label thing. They make the decisions. He wouldn't have had a choice in this. I find that hard to believe, that Meek Mill would not have a say-so in a tour bus that he has to live on, that he would not have a say-so of what is on the side and the back of the bus. I don't understand how that could be. So my whole thing is, if you allowed this, you must be okay with it. Again, the internet is mad. I'm mad. That's not how black women deserve to be portrayed. There are a lot of things that he could have done otherwise, and I think that was kind of a cheap shot. I mean, I don't know if he was doing it to really offend anybody or to, but it appears to be very objectifying. It's just not from a good place, if that makes sense. So if you missed that too, definitely go look, and just if you put in hashtag Meek Mill on Instagram, you will find all of these posts about this tour bus and how angry everybody is about it. So I'll be interested to see if it actually makes it through a tour, or if he's going to come out and say, okay, I took it off, I fixed it, whatever. Meek has a reputation of kind of not giving a fuck. That's kind of who he is. So I would be very interested to see if this bus makes it through a tour. If you guys want to take bets on how many tour stops it's going to make it to, I'm all ears. I don't know how many are on the list, but I'm starting to think that that bus is going to change. I don't know if they're taking it as all publicity is good publicity with this one, but a lot of people are really hot about that. As a parent, I understand. It was sitting on the video that the man took was in front of a public bus stop, and the bus was parked on the public bus stop on a city street. Like, there are children, and no, there aren't any visual, like, detailed. Okay, I take that back because the women are topless, but like, the vagina was a pink spot. So it's not like I don't know. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I feel like that was done for a reason, but not a good call. That was a bad decision. I don't know whose it was, but that was a bad decision. Yeah. That was a very bad decision. Speaking of bad decisions, Kodak Black has also been all over the internet because a video surfaced of him dancing with his mother at some kind of an event, and he was doing this. Now, I don't know if you can see that clearly because it is a screenshot of a video, but he was cuffing her butt. And then, after cuffing her butt, he tried to kiss her on the lips several times. She was pulling away from him and kind of like leaning back, but they were laughing. That's your mom. That's your mom. That's weird. That's just so weird. Kodak's a strange person to begin with, but to be dancing with your mom, cuffing her butt, trying to kiss her on the lips. He was like reaching around her face to try to kiss her on the lips. And she was pulling back and moving away and kind of dodging him. And you could see she was visibly uncomfortable. People are trying to say he's Haitian. Haitians are very touchy-feely and lovey with their moms, and saying it's a cultural thing. You got to understand it's a cultural thing. But at the same time, she didn't look like that was normal. She looked like it made her very uncomfortable. And she was like kind of hee-hee and laughing, but as a woman, you know that uncomfortable, like, and that's what she was doing, and that's her child. I feel like he should not have put her in a position to do that. And she was on camera and in front of a ton of people where he's cuffing her butt and trying to kiss her on the lips. And if she seemed to be really finding it like humorous and like as a joke, okay, maybe that's how they play around. She didn't seem to be taking it that way. She didn't get upset, but she kind of laughed it off and like kept moving around him. That shit was so uncool. That was not cool at all. And people were saying he's on drugs and this and that or whatever, or that's just how he is with his mom. Super creepy. Super, super creepy. I'm going to need Kodak to keep his hands to himself. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll post that one in the group for you after this live. Tell me what you think about it. Am I bugging or is it weird? I think it's weird. Just looking at that picture, that was weird. But if you saw like the 10 seconds after it, it just got more strange. I'm going to let y'all be the deciders in that. So I will post it in the group after this live. Tell me what you think. Is it weird? Is it not weird? Am I tripping? Is that how sons are with their mothers? I don't know. My sons aren't adults. And I would think when they were adults, it wouldn't even be that way. But y'all let me know what you think about it. I'm going to post it. Last but not least, Lala came out this week in an interview with Angie Martinez and finally publicly spoke about her divorce from Carmelo. People were really surprised that she spoke publicly about it. It's been a while, even per what she said. but I guess it was going on privately a lot longer than it was going on publicly. So she just wanted to let everybody know, like, it might be fresh for y'all, but it's been years. I've dealt with my feelings. This is not new. I dealt with my sad part about it. Now I can actually laugh about it. I don't know how you ever get to the point of laughing about a divorce, but she said if I didn't laugh about it, I'd be a basket case, which I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, she wanted everybody to know, like, I'm good. Like, the single me is not new. I've been this way. It's been a couple of years. Like, I've gotten through my stuff about it. Like, we've moved on. Y'all can move on too from it. And my thing about it is this. I couldn't imagine being a person or the type of public figure that, okay, I take that back. I could imagine it, but I feel like as a normal person who isn't in the public eye, sometimes we forget how hard it is for people who are in the public eye to go through things that should be private publicly. Now, she should have never had to explain her hurt or deal with her hurt in front of people and cameras, but that's just what her life is. And that's part of being a celebrity. And some people would say she chose that life. Yes, you do. But doing what you love and being passionate, being an actor, a host, and all the things that she did, it's kind of part of the deal that you have to deal with your private things in public. But I think us as normal people, we have to learn to respect the fact that that is something private. A normal person like me or somebody who's not in the public eye, if we go through a breakup and we choose to keep it private, now, granted, some people do like to display stuff like that on social media. Some people do like the public sympathy. Some people do like not even just the public sympathy, but kind of the love and support that they get from expressing their situation and people encouraging them to stay strong and get through it. Some people do need that because maybe they don't have friends. So there's reasons that people do stuff publicly on social media like that. But imagine if you were a person who went through things privately. You didn't post them on social media. You dealt with them on your own and you kept quiet about it. You have that choice. As a celebrity, people are constantly digging into every aspect of their life. And I feel like we need to, as a whole, remember that celebrities are humans. On a human level, we have to learn to respect each other. We need to learn to respect each other's privacy. We need to learn to respect each other's space, because there were even like photos and videos of her. You could see way back, like when that stuff first started, that like videos of her being out and just being totally bombarded. Like, you can't go anywhere or be in any kind of a space without other people trying to be in your space. So celebrities or not, I guess I felt like this conversation was important just as a whole to like learn, even if it's in your, I'm from a small town. Everybody knows everybody's business. That doesn't mean you need to be in everybody's business. That doesn't mean you need to gossip everybody's business. That doesn't mean that you need to share everybody's business, that you, anything that you know, you don't need to share outside of what you know. You don't need, it doesn't need to be a part of your life to be gossipy or spread things. Like, when you feel yourself going there, think about that other person as a human and not as someone that you just don't like for whatever reason, or that person has feelings. That person could be going through things. You never know what you saying something about that person to somebody else could do to that original person. Maybe them finding out that you told someone would be that last final straw to push them over the edge to hurt themselves. Maybe that one thing that you said would be the last final thing to make somebody lose their mind. People go crazy all the time over things like that. What if what you did was that one final piece to push a person over the edge? Some people could live with that. I'm not a person who could live with that. But I feel like if everybody just looked at situations in that way, we would all treat each other a lot better. Start seeing people as people and not as ideas, not as who you think they are or what you see of them on social media or what somebody told you about them. Just be kinder to each other. It's not hard. It's really not hard. And if you think about your problems with other people, they're usually not that serious. And if they are and you don't want to deal with them, don't deal with them. Nobody's forcing you to have other interactions with other humans. That's a choice you make. If you choose not to do that, you choose not to do that. But then you don't have to then perpetuate the toxicity that goes into being gossipy about that person, or spreading lies about that person, or doing anything that you can do to get to that person to try to break their mental or to try to hurt them, because you never know really where they're at in life. So I know some of y'all don't give a fuck, and that's fine too. But I'm just saying this: if one person hears this and thinks twice about being that way towards somebody, that's fine. That's all I'm here to do. So the next time that you find yourself being gossipy, the next time you find yourself wanting to put hands on somebody, the next time you find yourself being a part of that gossip toxic stew, I just please ask you to ask yourself why it's necessary. It's not hard to be good people. It's not hard to be nicer to each other. It's not hard if you don't want to be nice to a person, just don't deal with them. It's not hard if you do run into a person you don't like to walk away, turn the other cheek. Because if you don't, there's consequences. There's people out here who are ending up in prison because they don't like somebody and they do something to them and then something happens. Like, don't be that person. And it's only this thick of a line for you to make one bad decision that can affect the rest of your life just because you don't like somebody. I felt that was really important. Lala's interview kind of triggered something in me about just respecting other people and how easy it is to do that and how so many times we choose not to. So if you take nothing else from me, be a little nicer to each other. That's all I ask. So that's it for me tonight. I did just want to come through. I do miss you guys, and I will be back next Wednesday. Again, we have a lot coming up this week. Tomorrow we have Getting Sexy, where it's going to be all your love, relationships, sex talks. Smokers Only on Friday, where you're going to get all your information about cannabis and events and vendors. It's going to be a whole thing. So you're going to want to make sure that you're around for that. Like, subscribe on all the things. Come through, post in our group. We'll approve it if it's cool. We'll not approve it if it's not cool, but y'all tend to be all right about that. So come talk to us, come interact with us. We're going to post polls. I haven't posted as many as I was before, but I'm going to post some. I'm going to post those videos that I was telling y'all about tonight in the group. So if you are kind of curious about what I'm talking about, especially the Kodak Black stuff, check out the group after this. If you're not a part of our group, We Lit Network on Facebook. It's a public group. You can ask to join. We'll approve you and get you in, and you will not miss a beat. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe. Yeah, I can say it 3 times. And you'll definitely catch everything there. So that's it from me. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Come through to the Halloween party. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a movie. Again, cash prizes. Everybody get your little cute costumes together and come out and have a good time. I will see y'all next week on Wednesday, 9-ish. It definitely will not be this late, I promise you. And we will get back into it. Y'all have a good night. I missed y'all. I'm so glad to be back. Come hang with me next Wednesday at 9. I'll catch y'all then. Bye.